Hello, people. I just like to know everybody know I'm going to be doing a live tomorrow for Christmas Eve, but we have some interesting stuff going on. So I have my redneck hat, and we're going to discuss it. Okay, who owns the right to MobTube? That seems to be the question right now. Josie has started the book, and she's already gotten the first chapter done. She's working on the second chapter, and the title of the book is MobTube. And FBS came out the other day and stated that he owns the rights to MobTube. So should be an interesting battle. Who owns the rights to MobTube? I think it's more of a first come, first served basis with the name of something like that, especially with the fact that if you're going to copyright it, it costs quite a bit of money. Is there any evidence of a copyright that has been made before the book started being written? Now, if FBS can show evidence, actual documentation evidence that he purchased that name before Josie started writing the book, then he has a good point. If he does not have that documentation, he has no point. So Josie decided to go with MobTube. FBS doesn't like it. He said that he has the rights to it. Now, listen, I'm not taking any sides here. I'm just delivering the facts here. And the facts are, does he have documentation stated, a copyright documentation stated that he owns it? I have a funny feeling the answer is no. Mobtubecom has been purchased already. And I noticed that that site is being sold for quite a bit of money, that name, because it's not actually around. Now, there is a MobTuber that is purchased. Mobtuber.com is owned by me. That's my website. My website is already up. The shell of it is. And you can see the first page. That's mobtuber.com. And it's going to be 4 or 5 more pages behind it. And it's going to have a lot of stuff in it that I do not present with my show because we have sensitive souls here and I don't want to upset nobody. So mobtuber.com is taken. That's owned by me. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here because of the fact that Josie does have the first chapter in. And she already backing behind the book, the financial backing. And there's even talk about a screenplay, possibly on the book. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. War is ugly, people. And Josie's already written 3 books. And it doesn't matter whether they're bestsellers or not. She's an author. She knows how to write books, which means she knows people. And she's got the backing behind her for this book, MobTube. And she's already come up with the characters. And the characters, it's a nice list of people from the MobTube, and I'm trying to, I know I'm in it. And my name is Leonard Toole in it. And then you have FBS is in it. His wife's in it. I think they're Calabrese. Is their last name. Fat Bold Calabrese, something like that. And you got, then you got Sal, who kind of comes from the Bay 8th area, if you know what I mean. And then you have some dude named Valium something, and he's representing somebody. And don't get me wrong, there's no favorites in these characters. It's pretty harsh on all the characters, but it's funny. It's good stuff. And, we we just about got a book done from Simon Schuster about my brother and Vince McMahon. And that book's going to be out this summer. So we spent 3 years on this book, so I know a lot about books and what the procedures are and all that stuff. And right now, Josie seems to be really putting the pedal to the metal to get this book done. So I don't know what's going to happen here or what FBS is going to do at this point. You know, things cost money. You know, if you're going to go out and get a lawyer, it's going to cost money. And from what I understand, Josie already has a lawyer and there's money behind a lawyer. So it's going to be tough to do anything about this. So we're at the point now, it's just time to bite the bullet maybe and walk away and accept the fact that the name of the book is going to be Mobtube. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I understand if he created the name, he created the name. But just because you create the name doesn't mean you own the name. There's a procedure that has to be done when you go out for these names. I'm not sure if these procedures have been done. And if these procedures have not been done, then this is a non-issue. I mean, once she started writing that book, I'm sure she has the date she started writing this book. If there's no documentation owning this MobTube before then, you can come out and say that you own the rights to MobTube all you want. That doesn't mean you do. And don't get me wrong, you might own it. You might have documentation saying you own it. And if that person owns it, then they own it. But to come on and just say you own it, if you don't own it, isn't going to accomplish a damn thing. Yeah. Right now, you have motivated, highly intelligent people behind the book. Yes, motivated, highly intelligent people. So if you think that's going to stop because someone's coming out saying, hey, wait a minute, I own this, it doesn't mean it's going to stop. Right now, I would say 70-30 maybe that this book's going to happen under the Mobtube name. Whenever you get a name, I'll give you an example. If you're going to get a business name, the first thing you do is you go out, you register it, and it's your business name. That doesn't mean that other people can't use that name. Like, I'll give you an example, Dealing with the Devil. There's a couple things written with the name Dealing with the Devil by different authors and different owners. It's like Ray's Pizza. Do people remember the Ray's Pizza battle in New York? You know, the Rays split up. Famous Rays and the Famous Rays, or something like that. They the partners slightly adjusted the name for Ray's Pizza. Or, you know, this Farm and Fleet. Two brothers broke up, you know, and they had a feud. So one part of the corporation is called Farm and Fleet, and the other brother left and calls it Fleet and Farm. So I love this kind of stuff. This is interesting shit when people start battling, talking about stuff like this. This is where you see how smart people are. You know, people can claim how smart they are and stuff, but this is really what separates the smart people from the not so smart people. Thinking you're smart and being smart are two different things. So basically, we have to say now, who's smarter, Josie or FBS? So we can all make wagers on this and say who's smarter. But in the end, it's not going to matter who's smarter. It's going to matter who has the paperwork. Once that book started being written under the term of MobTube, that's a contract. That's the ownership of that name. unless FBS comes up with the name already registered on documentation. So people, what do you think? Who do you think owns the right to that MobTube? Now, just because you have a show and you call it MobTube doesn't mean a damn thing, unless you have it copywritten, paid for, and you have everything done. So I'll give you an example. When I went for Mobtuber.com, I made sure that I went to Mobtuber.com and I registered that domain for 5 years. So Mobtuber.com is mine. There's nobody can do about it. No, nothing can be done in courts, but it's Mobtuber. It's not Mobtube. Mobtube.com. So if I was these other parties, what I would do is look into see Mobtube.com. I would do that right away. Now, if FBS owns Mobtube.com, that puts him in a better position. But I have a feeling he doesn't, because who's ever owning it is willing to sell it for a lot of money. So now we're going to go for shows. We're going to go from shows to court battles over legal names. This is getting fun now. You know, this is getting real fun. We're going to start off the new year in a really entertaining way. You know, and that's going to be great. Then we're going to have people back that've been gone in MobTube. We have everything's growing. We have more people coming in, more shows. So all of us people that have these shows got to be on our toes if we want to survive. And that's what it comes down to. I'm putting a lot more effort into it now than I was a couple months ago. So I'm feeling great with myself. How these other guys are doing, it's going to be up to them. If we're going to have shows, we cannot have shows attacking people. And that's what's been going on for the last couple of days from a certain individual, because that isn't going to do crap in the end. We got to put up solid shows and talk about things. Like right now, we're talking about the MobTube dispute. Who owns the name? So you have one person that has he has a business called MobTube. I'm hoping that person registered that, because if he didn't, MobTube, you know, on a show is not going to be the holy grail of who owns it. So it's going to be interesting to hear other people discuss this. Show us your intelligence, people. Let's see what's on here. Okay, so go to Josie's channel. She has the name of the book up, the front cover, and she has the characters. She already has a list of characters listed out. So I would say go to Josie's channel and read it. Read what she has put up so far. And from what I understand, she's gave a little teaser of what the book's going to be about, and which each character is, what each character is going to be about, and what their role is in the book's going to be. But let's remember, we also have a possible movie deal in this book. So things are moving. I just wanted to cover that with you guys today. I'm going to drop this video. I'm going to come on and do a live tomorrow. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. I'll come on and wish you all a nice, happy Christmas, and try to put together a non-attack show and talk about something that we want to hear about. Maybe something that happened on Christmas in the mafia genre in the past. I'm hoping to have the full story of Ronnie G done And as you know, he was a captain and for the Bonanno family out of Howard Beach. And he's in prison right now, and he's doing, I think, another 8 years. But I've been doing a lot of research on him. Very interesting character, and these are the kind of guys we need to cover. And I'm going to be covering him and talking about him, and doing a show, probably like maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and talking about him, his power structure, where he stands now, and how he rose up, and what brought him down. As we know, whose testimony put him in prison. But we're going to be talking about that. Okay, so people, we got the MobTube wars going on. Who owns the name to MobTube? Stay tuned. Book coming out. This should be a blast, people. And I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll put up the live time. Everybody, if you don't hear from me again, please have a really beautiful Christmas with your family. Thank you all. Goodbye. Oh, like and subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm almost at 2,700. Would like to cross that mark and get down to 3,000.